Hello everyone, Callie here with the new Legends of Runeterra video for you today. We're going to be discussing the meta for patch 2.12 for Platinum, Diamond, and Masters. For the awesome Ruination patch, I hope you guys are having a great time with this. So, let's get started, shall we? Irelia Azir is our most played region. Anyone that has been playing ranked is going to know. They are going to absolutely know that they saw Azir. Actually, you might not see so much Azir, but you are seeing a ton of this. You are seeing so much of this. It's just crazy because the decks are very good. Shadow Shurima, I've actually not seen as much of this. The Viego decks overall are fairly weak. They're highly played. There's a couple variants that might work out, but play rate wise, 20% of your meta is Irelia Azir, followed by the rest of it backing up here. But it's crazy that those two regions are 20% play rate. And so let's go take a look at our first deck today. So we're gonna do this a little different than some people might do it. Okay, we're gonna do it a little bit differently. I'm not just going to say, here's the win rate of everything, here's what's the best, here's what's the worst. Not gonna do that. Top 4 decks have more than 7,000 games in them, okay? From 5 to 10, they have less than that. Most of them have less than 5,000 games. We're going by archetype stats on this, not necessarily the individual deck, but archetype stats, okay? First deck we have here is Sivir Akshan. It's a fairly decent deck. It's probably the best shell I've seen with him, which is very, very similar to the Zed Sivir combo. You have your Flurry of Fizz. You've got some other neat spells. It's a similar list. So if you would rather play Akshan instead of Zed, you could do so. I do think that Zed is better right now. However, if you want to play with the new champion, this is probably the way to go. Again, I will have all of the decks listed below with timestamps so you guys can go find what you want to see. So the way this deck works is it wants to build a little early pressure. This young witch is very good at giving quick attack. Obviously, once something already has quick attack, you can give it double attack. This is Grant. It is permanent. So if you have an unblocked Sivir with Flurry of Fizz and Twin Disciplines on, well, that's 8 double strike damage. Now, the better part is a card that's not in this deck that gives it Overwhelm, which is one of the reasons why I think this is not the necessarily best list to play with that, but it is the way that you could go. So, instead of running this deck, if it is something that you are interested in trying. Number 10, Sivir Akshan. Number 9. Yep.
What the is that?
A lot of you may be saying, well, Allie, I haven't seen this deck. What in the heck is this? Lulu Jinx. Yep. It's a deck. It's actually fairly good. I lost against it once or twice today. So the way this works is Lulu obviously can make something a plus 4/4. She can make Pix gigantic, or even Urchin, or even Flame Chompers, which is crazy to have a 4/4 Flame Chompers. It's just bonkers. This deck can be very crazy. It's all about getting that early damage out, blowing everything out that you can. Like if you do turn 1 Pix, let's just say turn 2. Either way, you guys can tell what you gotta do here. You buff this, empty your hand as fast as possible, drop Jinx. It's very effective. I didn't expect to see it out of nowhere. It's kind of explosive, so if you like decks that can go off real fast and come out of nowhere for a lot of damage, this might be the deck for you. As you can see, I don't have 3 Lulu, so I haven't been playing this. I debated playing it today, but we decided not to. So I hope that if you guys like the discard aggro, give this a shot. It feels like an evolved form of discard aggro, so if that is a deck that you liked in previous seasons, definitely give this one a look. Number 9, Jinx Lulu. You guys ready? Are we ready? Okay. Number 8. Number 8, we have Lebonk Sivir. You guys have seen this, reputation deck. Works fairly well. You got Threshing Snapper turn 1, which could give 5 damage on the block. Again, that's for leveling up Sivir. Treasure Seeker makes 5/2 ethereal. Got some stall with House Spider. Kato is really good with Overwhelm. And this for Rally. So, you really have a lot of options like Bloody Business. This thing, it's a one-sided... It's legitimately a one-sided single combat. Cost twice as much. This thing will mess you up. You see it's coming across the field, you're gonna be real sad. It's a fairly powerful deck that goes very fast, and you get lots of big critters, so if you like taking giant critters and smashing people's faces in quickly, definitely give this one a shot. You'll see it on the ladder quite a bit, 4,365 games played. It's also fairly good in the Gauntlet or in tournaments, so give this one a shot. However, there might be some better combos for this. Especially Shurima. There's a better Sivir deck. How about that? There's a better Sivir deck. We'll be talking about it in a bit. Okay, number 7 is Draven Fizz. Once again, you may be...
What the is that?
Exact same comments. I know it doesn't have too many games played, it's over 1,000. This deck reminds me a lot of TF Fizz, because you have elusive, 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 gigantic buffs for your elusives, and this thing which creates a free attack with an elusive. So, this deck can win from out of nowhere. Get elusives, drop a Thorn Blade and Brother's Bond, you just increase your damage output by 9. Yep, it's pretty ridiculous. So if you like TF Fizz, which a lot of people did, if you want a little more aggressive stuff, and if you really like elusives, definitely give this one a shot. Draven Fizz, doing things, doing stuff. Number 7. Number 6, we have J4 Shen. Got a new addition this last patch with Scattered Pod. It's a nice little end game. If you're at 10, you have a 5/6 elusive. That's fairly good. Easy way to close out the game. I think that's a good card. The way this deck works is you want to put barriers on things. Summon Jarven, where he gets a barrier and challenging stuff. Fairly effective. Early game, you got the Tracker and Caretaker. Obviously, Spirit's Refuge can gain you a ton of life back. Ton of life. If you put this on the right card, buff it at the right time, it could really be very effective for you. River Shaper, always amazing in this deck. Just draw so many spells, and with all the spells you have, definitely get a lot of them. Golden Aegis can be a game-breaking spell. Dropping this, if you have a full board, you're basically going to win. So, if you like decks that are a little more technical, that do have some aggro potential, but can also have a good long end game, give this one a try. J4 Shen. It's just worth a shot. Give it a shot. Give it a try. On to number 5, Zed Teemo. Oh, Teemo. More elusives. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elusives. 7 with Teemo. It's elusives. So Draven Fizz or Zed Teemo would be very, very good decks for you to try if you like elusives. Which is an old meta from early in Runeterra's days, I've been told. So if elusives is something that you like, not entirely sure what wants to run Solitary Monk. Seems kind of sketch to me. Especially, yeah, anyway, I really recommend this if you like elusive decks. It's probably the best elusive deck besides Draven Fizz. I mean, these are both very competitive. I would much rather face this one because I would feel like I could actually do something. This has, you know, it's got counter spells. Counter spells are very popular right now and they're very hard to deal with for a lot of decks. So this is pretty potent. I think this is a good position in the meta. So if you want to have Captain Teemo reporting for duty, this is the deck you should try. Now for the next 4 decks, they have a ton more matches played. So you're going to notice the win rate's going to drop, but if you have a high win rate after like 7,000-8,000 matches, it's worth talking about those. So, next we have Lurkers, number 4. There's a few different variants to the Lurker deck. A few different ones. This is a good version. It's got Preservarium, Rod of Negation, Siphoning Strike, Bone Skewer. Ultimately, you want to run as few non-lurk cards as possible. This one has, what, 2, 4, 9, 12? This might be a little high. So you might want to run a deck that has less of these, because that's more than a fourth of your deck is not lurking. So you might want to look at a couple different lists before you dive into the lurk and do all the lurky things. Before you do the lurky things. Anyway, the way this deck works is every turn when you attack, once a turn, it checks the top card of your deck. If that card has lurk on it, you buff every lurker in your deck 1 power. Alright? If you have a Rek'Sai on top of your deck, you grant all lurkers 2 power. Yep, it's really powerful. And also, you want a Pike to be on top of your deck because he turns into a spell that basically is impossible to deal with. Most effects don't even affect it. And it lets you have 2 Pikes on the field if you already have one. Use a spell, have another. Very effective, and if you get late game with a Pike, you just murder everything. So, highly recommend checking this deck out if you like some decks that, you know, lurking. If you like the lurk mechanic, definitely give it a shot. I tried it when the patch first came out. The previous patch, the lurk patch. And I thought it was okay, but it felt a little underwhelming. Like, I think it needs something. So maybe the next patch, you'll give it a little oomph. Like, it needs just that little extra touch, just go over the edge. But you can see with 13,000 matches played, over 54 win rate, I'd say it's still competitive. So if you like it, keep playing it. Number 4, Lurkers. Number 3, the venerated smash your face against a keyboard deck. Pirate Aggro. It works, it's easy. You just play the cards and you burn people's faces off. Yep. Do I need to talk more about this? Do we?
I don't suppose you've ever sailed, have ye?
I don't suppose you've ever bathed, have ye?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, pirate chat, you know. Set things on fire, the way this deck works. You want to get early aggro. You have 4 cards, 12 1-drops. 12. More than a fourth of your deck is 1-drops. You want to get out of the gate really fast with damage. Everything is about dealing damage fast. Getting spells out of your deck. So this one's going to draw a Make It Rain or Noxian Fervor. That's all it can draw. Noxian Fervor can win the game on the spot. Make It Rain is very good. If you have a Gangplank out with the Keg and you do Make It Rain, it hits 2 damage to 3 targets. It's very good. 7,000 games, 56.5 win rate. Pirate Aggro is here to stay, folks, so just be ready for it. Be ready for it. Number 2. It breaks my heart that this is the number 2 deck. Because it's been nerfed to the ground and it's still being played. And that is Irelia. So sad.
With me! Today is the day we reclaim our homeland!
Yup. do I need to say more about this deck? It's been talked to death. Okay, so why is it still competitive, right? Treasure Seeker. This makes a 5/2. Yep, makes a 5/2. Field Musicians. Refills your spell mana, draws you a card. It's pretty effective too. Defiant Dance allows you to recall a unit. And Blade Dance. I don't know what else to say. You all know what this deck is. You know. You know.
Tell the people what you have seen today.
You've heard that phrase. So if you still want to play this deck, you can. It's very good, which makes me sad in my heart place, but the best deck is Zed Sivir, which is what I have been playing on ladder. This deck is just flat out stupid. It's dumb. It's real dumb. Early game, you want one of these. Inspiring Mentors, good on Zed or Sivir. Don't really want to waste it on other things unless you have no other choice. The goal, the biggest goal for this deck is to get a leveled up Zed or a leveled up Sivir. Because the Absolver, this spell is stupid. What it does is you get +2/+1. Okay, that's great. It makes a spell called the Absolver's Return, which gives even more damage and overwhelm. Couple that with Flurry of Fists, and no matter what they blocked with, you win. It just deals a stupid amount of damage. It's so dumb. Now, you can win with high rolls or mid rolls. Low rolling this deck is painful, okay? And I could tell you from a lot of these matches are mine. I don't know, just a couple dozen of my matches. You're going to feel it when you low roll, and you're gonna feel it hard. Because you're gonna draw a bunch of spells and have no creatures. Or you're gonna be late and you're not gonna get your level up. If you don't get a level up on a champion, it's hard to pull off a win if your opponent has a good deck. If your opponent's also behind, you can still come back, but against decks like Irelia that have so much aggression, or against any of these, look at this, aggro, 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 kind of mid-range, aggro, aggro. There's just so many aggressive decks right now. If you get behind, you're not going to catch up, unless you get lucky. It's hard to top deck wins with this, unless you get a Ruin Runner and you have stuff in your hand. Spirit's Refuge is key. This has won me games on its own. A game earlier today, I had a Sivir, threw this on it, and Twin Disciplines, I gained 9 life. I was at 1, I was back to 10. It helped me win that game. It's a super key card. Super key. So that's it for me, everybody. Thank you all for hanging out with me in meta today. I hope you appreciate this information. Let me know down in the comments below what you have been playing in Ranked. I'd love to hear. And consider stopping by twitch.tv/CaliChronicles, where you can hang out with me on stream with Runeterra and all kinds of other games all the time. That's it for me, everybody. You have an awesome rest of the day. Hey friend, thanks for watching that video. If you'd like to watch other videos from me, click the links on screen right now. Or if you would like to visit me in any of my other portals, check the links in the description below, and consider watching me on twitch.tv/CaliChronicles, where I live stream all the time. Thanks again, and I hope you have an awesome rest of the day. Bye for now.